Well, I'm just back from Florida in very, very cold New Hampshire. No kidding, it's kind of that polar vortex that's coming down. It's not fun. I miss Florida even if it was not that hot. And so the big question I left you with in my last video was back button focus. And am I gonna keep back button focus or just decide that I'm done with back button focus? So let's start this video and I'm gonna answer this question. Florida was fantastic. Even with the cold, we spent a lot of time in places where there were not many people. Actually, I was quite surprised. And really my favorite place was in a couple of parks around Gainesville. The wildlife was fantastic. And during this trip in Florida, I was able to photograph two birds that were already on my list of birds to photograph. I always wanted to see a brown pelican and photograph a brown pelican at sunset. And it actually happened during winter solstice. So I had a shorter day and it worked out very well. I just found a place where all those pelicans were at a small marina and I was able to photograph them pretty close. So that was a big plus. So here are a couple of photos that I took. It screamed Florida to me. So I really wanted that type of photos in my portfolio. And the second bird that I really wanted was a Sandhill crane. I've heard them, I've seen them from far away when I was in Yellowstone, when I was in Florida actually last year, but I never got a close encounter. And I really want to see those birds. I don't know why, they fascinate me. I know for some of you it's, oh, I have them in my backyard, but for me, I don't get to see them. So it's a treat. They come to New Hampshire and you can see them from time to time, but I haven't been lucky enough or they're just too far away. But in Florida, I had the best encounter ever. I was actually at a post office and then all of a sudden I look up and I hear my wife said, "What are those two big birds right there next to you?" And the Sandhill cranes just landed next to me and I was able to photograph them. There was that red building and I was able to photograph, to do portrait with that background. Remember, background is very important in wildlife photography because you want a background that is going to showcase your subject, so not a busy background. So here it worked very well. And then there were also shaded area with trees that made the background very dark, and that was the background that I also used. So moving around my subject, and when I say moving around my subjects, they were super close to me. I was being very careful, not to approach them. I let them come to me and I positioned myself where I saw that background and I wanted the bird, and they came forward and I was able to get the shots. But it was so fun. I was able to kind of observe them from so close, just wild Sandhill cranes. So I was very, very happy, and just the noise of all those Sandhill cranes coming in. Fantastic, that was so fun. I really wanted to photograph white boars. We have them in Europe, but I've never seen them here in the US. We had a close encounter when we were in Florida. They were really close, but they were hidden. Didn't see them, probably for the best. They're actually quite dangerous, so you don't want to get close to them. Those are white boars. They're right there. I don't know if they will come out or not. So I don't know, maybe next time. And yes, I did not use back button focus. I kept the same settings that I showed you in my last video. If you haven't seen my last video, it's right here. Go and review it. But basically, front dial is changing the ISO. back down is changing the shutter speed. And then for my aperture, I just click on the OK, and then I'm already on aperture, and then I can just switch it very fast. So that's it, because pressing on the ISO and switching the ISO, I prefer to press a button and switch the aperture. It makes most sense to me, because really the aperture is the last thing that I change. Most of the time I already know what aperture I'm going to shoot. I shoot wide open. Most of the time with a telephoto lens, I have distance with my subject. So I do not need to change my aperture as much as I change my ISO or my shutter speed. So my two main dial should be ISO and shutter speed. So I hope it makes sense to you. I know a lot of you are using back button focus. I've used back button focus since I started with OM system, and I always thought, yeah, that's what I have to shoot. It makes sense to separate them. It does in a way, but in another way, my camera is so sophisticated, it really nails the focus most of the time. So trust my camera. It's gonna help me get the shot, and I feel like I'm gonna lose less shots if I use those settings than using a back button focus. So here it is, 2025, no more BBF. What's your resolution for 2025? Let me know in the comment. I think that would be a good topic of discussion. And I know, Edward, I owe you an email. You sent me an email a couple of days ago telling me that I really have to give Auto ISO a chance. Maybe I will do that. Maybe that will be my 2026 resolution. Who knows? Well, until then, I wish you all a great week. Happy shooting, stay warm wherever you are. I'm actually gonna release a video probably on Wednesday. I just came back from hunts today, and I got a couple of things that I think you'll be interested in. And I even managed to get Gary to give us some discount on the items that I want to show you on Wednesday. So I hope you tune in, and I want to thank you again for all your support. If you're not a subscriber, well, it's never too late. Click on the subscribe button, click on the like, and click on the bell so you know when my videos are coming out. And until then, well, happy shooting, stay warm, bye.